Hi everyone, and welcome to BookTrib's 15 Minutes with, a Maramos Media production. Today we are welcoming Publishers Weekly bestselling author Michelle Smart. Michelle's written more than 15 books for the Harlequin Presents series that includes everything from The Greek's Pregnant Bride, Wedded, Bedded, and Betrayed, and most recently, Once a Moretti Wife, which we have right here. Very exciting, just recently released, and a ton of others. So thank you so much for joining us, Michelle. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely, and that accent is such a breath of fresh air. It's lovely.
I've never heard it called that before, but...
Well, it's so refreshing. We don't have many British authors, so it's very refreshing.
Oh, well, it's the same for me.
Oh, well, there you go.
Everybody that I speak to have got boring British accents.
Well, I guess neither of us are boring to the other, so that's perfect. So let's jump in right away to Once a Moretti Wife. Tell us about the story, the characters that we're meeting in this book.
Okay, it's about Stefano Moretti and his wife Anna. Anna, it starts off with Anna waking up and not actually knowing that she's his wife. She just thinks that she's his PA.
Oh boy.
So yeah, she wakes up and she thinks she's got a hangover, goes to work, just basically drags herself to work, feeling just like death warmed up, puking everywhere, just really awful. Oh. Goes to her office, everything's changed, and she thinks that he's played a prank on her overnight and just redecorated her office. And then he walks in and she basically passes out, wakes up in the hospital and has absolutely no idea why everybody is saying that he's her husband, because there is no way she would touch him with a 10-foot barge pole.
Oh.
She's worked for him for 6 months. She fancies the pants off him, but she has always vowed she is never, ever going to touch him. It's never, ever going to be anything. So now she's got to unravel how she could possibly be his wife. And what she doesn't know is that, yes, she is his wife, but in the weeks before her concussion, which has brought the amnesia on, she'd left him. And humiliated him, and he is now out for revenge. He sees her amnesia and her illness as the perfect opportunity for him to get his revenge on her.
Whoa, very interesting. Okay. Well, there's quite the story there. Is this part of a series along kind of the same world, or is this a standalone?
Yeah, this is a standalone. I do love doing series books, though. I do love writing trilogies and having different characters pop up. I often actually do that, though, in my books, even if they're standalones. I'll often have characters from the other books that I've written pop into it.
Oh, I love that.
Just I think. One of the ones I've written recently, the architecture, it was built by an architect that I've had in one of my other books. I've had auctions, and it's an artist from like my second book has been in it, and I just like popping them all in. A little bit of progress on how their lives and loves are shaping up.
That's such a nice nod to the reader too, and to the fan who've been following you along this whole ride. It's so nice to see those characters pop back up.
It makes me happy too.
Of course. So what about for your Harlequin Presents books? You've written a number of them at this point. Do you have a reading series? Can they all be read at any point, however one would like, or is it more just one, the earliest, and forward?
No, whichever order that you like. I've done 3 trilogies. The third one is coming out. The first one is in August. But even with the trilogies, they're all standalones.
Okay.
I mean, I think with the trilogies, it's probably better to read the trilogies in order if you like the suspense of it all. But it definitely wouldn't detract from the actual reading experience, reading them out of order.
Okay. What about for you writing these contemporary romance books? What kind of keeps you coming back to Harlequin Presents? What do you love most about writing for them?
Oh, the emotions. It's just that roller coaster. Right. And if you can feel that roller coaster while you're writing it, because I mean, I must admit, in my reading life, I don't read romance as a rule, but I've always loved presents. That's always been my go-to since I was 12 years old, and I discovered my great aunt came and stayed for the weekend and left a Penny Jordan behind.
Oh my goodness.
And I read it. She'd left it behind in my bedroom because she stayed in my room, and I read it, and that was it. That was it for me. I learned about sex and everything in that one book. It was just like mind-blowing. And so I do tend to read thrillers. That's my preference when I'm reading, but always presents. That when you just want to dip into that big jolt of emotion and just, just have a few hours of just.
So what about your characters' names? How do you come up with those? Are they things that you've already thought of, or are they inspired by things in your life? Where did the names come from?
Oh, crikey! All different places. For this one, with Anna, I already knew that I wanted to write somebody called Anna. I don't know why, the name just sort of pinged into my head.
Okay.
And it was trying to find the perfect man and the perfect name to fit with her.
Love that.
But I've had other books, the Kaliakis Crown trilogy, that was 3 princes, and they were Greek princes, and I knew that I wanted them to be, to have mythological names. So I spent hours researching the perfect names. So I had Helios, I think he's the sun god. I mean, it was quite a few years back. I did the research for it. But Talos, even though he's not actually a god, he was a bronze warrior, and I wanted him to be more of a warrior prince, mainly because he was inspired by Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones. If anybody watches Game of Thrones and remembers the first series of it, Khal Drogo, yeah, that's my Talos.
I'm sure that they do. Now, your characters are typically kind of embroiled in this Greek, Spanish, with these Sicilian men who they're wealthy, are princes. What about these worlds for you that you create? What do you enjoy most about that storytelling and creating that kind of a world?
Oh, it's the glamour, that high octane glamour. I mean, I've spent today I've been in the Seychelles. Right in my head, it's been wonderful. I've spent the day in the Seychelles. I've been on a helicopter. I've seen, at my desk. But it's the whole glamour, and, the researching of it, and, just down to the dresses that they wear when they go out for the evening.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all of it. I just love it.
How do you pick the next one, though? Do you have a list somewhere? Does it just come to you organically, like in your mind? Okay, I'm going to write this story. How do you always go on to the next one?
Okay, well, Once a Moretti Wife, with that one, I had it in my head that I wanted to write an amnesia story.
Okay.
And so it was just trying to develop a plausible for myself amnesia story, and but the next set of books that I'm going to write, because I've got this current book that I'm writing, and then I'm down to write another trilogy. I told you I love my trilogies. But the idea actually came from a news article that I was reading about businessmen that are at war with each other, and it's just like ping, yeah, there's an idea there. And by the end of the evening, I'd pretty much worked out how it was going to go. Okay. And then you just sort of develop it from that. And now I've got my 3 heroes. And now I've got to finish the book in the Seychelles that I'm writing first. But already it's tapping away, trying to work out who the heroines are going to be. And yeah.
Okay.
It depends.
It's all very interesting, especially for those who are kind of just starting out and trying to organize a lot of these questions and figure out how they're going to make it happen, or how they're going to create these worlds that you create. So in regards to that, do you have any kind of advice for those just starting out who love what you do and want to try their hand at it? They're not too sure where to start, or do you have like the one really direct piece of advice that might be able to help them kick it off?
2 bits of advice. Read as much as you can, and then just write as much as you can, and just be prepared that your first few manuscripts are basically going to suck. It doesn't happen to everyone. I have heard, you do hear of the odd person, their first book sells.
There's always one.
Yeah, there's always one. It wasn't me, unfortunately. I sold my 5th attempt. If you love it, just keep doing it. And grip the reader. That opening chapter, well, the opening scene, you know, you want to pull the reader into your world. You know, it starts immediately where the action is. We don't need the background, you know, that's all superfluous. It can be threaded in, you know, just start it where the action is. Absolutely. That moment where their lives are about to change forever.
Absolutely. Great. That's wonderful. Now, you've mentioned this a little bit ago, but as a reader yourself, you enjoy, you know, other genres. You mentioned you love thrillers. How does your kind of different taste in what you read and what you write, does it affect anything at all? Development of your own characters? Does it influence how you write? Maybe you include factors that someone who didn't read thrillers wouldn't do. Have you found any of that in your writing?
Maybe through osmosis. I've not really thought of it, to be honest, but probably.
You don't even know you're doing it.
It tend to be quite dark and gritty. Not always. I try to make them fun as well. I do like them to be fun and for the reader to just have a good time reading it. But I have actually because I had my first book that I sold, and then I did the first trilogy. Linking trilogies again.
More trilogies.
So second book that I sold, What a Sicilian Husband Wants, she actually shoots him. She shoots the hero. And the third one of the trilogy, he's a proper gangster. He is a truly bona fide gangster. So I think maybe that more earthier, grittier side, maybe that has come from the other books that I read.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting.
Yeah, and I had to make her shoot him because I've read so many books, you know, with presents, and I've always just thought, you know, why don't you just shoot him? Just be done with it.
That's great. That's so great. So you do have another Harlequin Presents, your next book coming out, is Protecting His Defiant Innocent. I think I have that title right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that story? Can you, a little bit about the characters? Can you talk about that yet?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful.
He's actually an ex-Special Forces soldier.
Okay, there you go. See? It's all coming together.
Who got discharged from the army, from the Spanish Special Forces because of a leg injury. And Francesca, her brother has just died in a helicopter crash.
Okay.
And he's this big philanthropist. So her brother and their cousin, who is like a brother to them, the three of them, she basically bullies them into agreeing to build a hospital in his memory. It was a hospital that her brother had been planning to build in a country, a bit like Haiti. You remember when there was that big hurricane? Was it a hurricane or an earthquake?
It was an earthquake, yeah. It
was an earthquake, wasn't it? Sorry, but I made it a hurricane on Caballeros, the island, my little fictional island.
Okay.
I wanted it to be that kind of destruction. That's why it had to be fictional, obviously. But this is an island that is rampant with crime. The sixth most deadly country in the whole wide world. And she's going there. She's going to get this hospital built. And her brother and cousin only agree to it if she has protection. So she gets sent out there with her hunky, gorgeous protector. So yeah, that's the first one. So obviously she's determined to get this land to build the hospital. The second one is the dead brother's wife, his widow, falling pregnant by the cousin. Oops. And the third one is the brother having to have a wife so that he can inherit the family estate.
Interesting. So those other ones are coming, I would say, down the line in 2017. Is that right?
Yeah. Protecting His Defiant Innocent comes out in August, and then Claiming His One Night Baby is September, and the third one, I can't remember the name. He's brought Bride of Convenience or something.
Okay.
Sorry, but that comes out in October, so they're back to back.
Okay, so much to look forward to. And then are you closing out 2017 with any new projects, or are you jumping into 2018 projects at that point?
The book that I'm writing now, yes, this is, I think, scheduled for February 2018.
Okay. All right, so that's exciting. Lots going on, lots to do. Of course, more Harlequin Presents, which we love, and Once a Moretti Wife we have right here is on sale now. make sure you go grab it, and any others that you haven't read of Michelle's. Unfortunately, we are at the end. It ends that quickly, and it's so sad when it ends.
Very quickly.
But thank you so much, Michelle. This was so much fun, and we're very excited about Once a Moretti Wife and everything to follow.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely.
Absolutely. Oh, good. I'm glad you had fun. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.